Good morning. It is Friday, May the 28th. I'm Shane Seeley, and this is the CBC Morning Report. This morning, more students are up in arms and are not happy with the Caribbean Examinations Council's changes to their 2021 CSEC and CAPE examinations. The CXC changes include a pushback of the start date by 2 weeks for the exams and a deadline extension for the submission of SBAs and for students who want to defer to next year. Now, reacting to the news, CAPE student Guy Zamir says she's not impressed with those changes. And we'll get back to that comment from Guy Zamir's. Meanwhile, Reina Shantez Walton is pursuing 4 Unit 2 CAPE subjects, and she believes the student suggestions carried no weight in CXC's decision. As we get back to that story, as we look at what is happening with the fallout with these decisions from CXC, we're still focusing on schools. And we're hearing that the National Council of Parent Teachers Association is reacting to the most recent COVID scare at the 2 primary schools on the island. The President, Sean Gibbs, is joining those calls for more vigilance at the island school level, especially at the primary schools. Meanwhile, the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union is calling the situation very worrisome. And the President, Marianne Redmond, says in the first month since the restart of face-to-face classes, there have been 4 cases of COVID infection among children. Here's what else she had to say.
We are advising our teachers to maintain the 6-foot distancing in the classroom that the union has advised them to do, and that we have advised the Ministry of Education that we are not moving away from in terms of that protocol. And we are advising the teachers to constantly adhere to the protocols and, as best they can, encourage the children to do so.
Ms. Redmond says it's a very difficult situation. It's also very difficult to get the children to adhere to the protocols.
It is a very draining process. The teachers have complained to get them to properly wear masks, to wear the mask at the times that they should, to social distance, because the children like to congregate, to gather, to be close together.
Understood.
And that is a problem. As well as transportation, what is happening in the public transport system as it relates to the movement of children from school to their homes and vice versa.
We'll take a break here and come back with those COVID-19 updates. Now, before we get into those COVID-19 updates locally, regionally, and internationally, let's hear from those students who are expressing concern about the changes which CXC has announced. First, we hear from Guy Zamir, and she's not impressed with those changes.
CXC has once again proven to me and countless other students that our voices have not been heard. Their lack of compassion and seeming need to make life in a pandemic more challenging than it already is has had catastrophic effects on my mental health. There is a constant weight on your shoulders, especially for opposite students like me, who are also awaiting their university acceptances, are starting their preparations for the next step in their lives. And this, paired with the lack of meaningful adjustments to the exams, will have lasting negative effects on many of us.
Let's also hear from Raina Shantez Walton now, and she says the students' initial suggestions carried no weight in CXC's decisions.
In my opinion, the students' perspective should matter most when it comes to decisions for the dates of exams. However, this was not the case. CXC changed their mind several times, and it was not proven yet that the reason for their indecision is based on how students feel. Their rapid decision in the delay of exams seems to be very inconsiderate, since many students, especially upper sixers, that have to study abroad will not be able to have an adequate enough break between secondary and tertiary education.
Looking at those COVID-19 updates now, we see what's happening with the numbers, and 2 males tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday. They were identified from the 544 tests conducted at that time by the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. 42 people remain in isolation, and there have been 4,006 now confirmed cases of COVID-19 since March last year. The virus has claimed 47 lives, and the Public Health Lab has conducted a total of 168,153 tests. The National Vaccination Program has seen 77,084 people being vaccinated against COVID-19, and this includes 57,998 people who have received both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. People who received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine before April 1st and are awaiting their second shot are being urged to take advantage of the immunizations unit open day today. It will run from 10 this morning to 2 in the afternoon at 4 venues, those being the St. Andrew Parish Church in Belle Plaine, the Sandals Conference Centre on Maxwell Coast Road, Christchurch, and in St. Michael, the BIDC Building No. 2 Harbour Road, and the Winston Scott Polyclinic in Gemmett's Lane. Members of the public are asked to walk with their blue vaccination cards. Guyanese are being reminded by their Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, that the benefits of taking the COVID-19 vaccine are evident in countries where the population is almost fully vaccinated. He says life has been returning to some normalcy.
Minister Anthony is urging citizens with a desire to see Guyana to return to a state of normalcy to take the COVID-19 vaccine. During his daily COVID update today, he revealed that Region 6 continues to lead in first dose vaccination numbers, with 43% of the population there receiving at least one COVID-19 vaccine dose. Region 10, however, continues to lag behind, with only 11.2% of its population receiving the first dose of a COVID vaccine.
Now, if we want to return to normalcy, then the only way out is vaccination, and these countries that have substantially immunized their population are showing that this is possible. So you have examples like the United States, you have Israel.
Minister Anthony says Guyana has the capacity to vaccinate its entire adult population.
We can do the same because the government of Guyana has committed to procuring vaccines for everyone, you know, every adult in Guyana, and therefore there's no excuse why you shouldn't come and get your vaccine. So the faster people do that, it is going to help us to get to herd immunity and for us to return to normalcy.
Now, the rate of COVID-19 vaccinations has slowed in the United States. Half of all adults have received at least one dose, but polls suggest a quarter of the population there do not want to get the jab at all. This has led to some states thinking of creative schemes to convince people to roll up their sleeves and get the jab.
We are excited to announce the first winner, Abigail Buginski from Silverton. Congratulations!
The odds of winning were 1 in 2.7 million. That's the number of people in the U.S. state of Ohio who registered for Wednesday's lottery drawing to win $1 million for having received the COVID-19 vaccine.
I hope I win.
Tommy Kolarik's name wasn't picked this time, but he still has 4 more chances to win in following weeks.
Both give verbal consent today to get your vaccine.
He says he actually feels pretty lucky just to be vaccinated.
So I can go out and enjoy the world and keep everyone safe while doing it.
The $1 million prize can go to any vaccinated adult. Vaccinated teenagers can win a university scholarship. But most of the people attending this hearing at the Ohio State Capitol say they refuse to be lured into accepting the shot. They back a proposal protecting their choice to refuse the vaccine.
I'm not going to sell myself for a ticket to college or money. I mean, I think our bodies and what products we put in them, our lives are far more important than money.
Recent polls show about a quarter of Americans and more than half of Republicans say they will not get a COVID-19 vaccine. Public health experts worry that would allow the virus and its variants to retain a dangerous foothold in the U.S. population.
It's Friday, so let's hear from Pearson now what he has lined up for you to take you into your weekend on this edition of Morning Barbados. Pearson?
Thank you, Shane. One of the people who will meet today is a Caribbean girl from a very small island who says she survived scarcity at birth, and so she's now risen to become a corporate executive. She will share her story in this Life Lessons, a purpose-driven leadership journey. We'd also today meet a young man who, at the age of 15, began the skill and the craft of crocheting. I know some of you paused just for a moment on that one. Yep, he has now become a much sought-after crochet designer and crafter. And do the numbers 5, 28, 11 mean anything to you? Well, you will find out what it means.
You in just a little while when you join me here on Morning Barbados. Back to you, Shane.
Thank you so much, Pearson. And when we return here on the Morning Report, we will tell you about those predictions for the Atlantic hurricane season. Predictions this morning of another above normal Atlantic hurricane season, and these predictions are coming from the National Hurricane Center. And it's for that reason that local disaster management officials are encouraging Barbadians to take all necessary precautions ahead of the official start next week. Aaliyah Briggs has more.
Days away from the official start of the hurricane season, and hardware store owners are not exactly seeing a rush for hurricane supplies. Store manager of Carter's General Store, Alan Goodman, says there's been some last-minute shopping, but he believes Barbadians have become more sensitized to the importance of preparing before the start of the hurricane season.
I haven't seen much of an increase in attention for hurricane supplies. I think people are still focusing on cleaning, and I think we're praying for some rain as well to wash some of that ash away back into the soil. But no, I haven't seen a whole lot of attendance with the hurricane supplies. The majority of Barbadians are preparing themselves a lot better over the years. Yes, there's a few last-minute things you have to pick up, but I think most Barbadians, from the signs of it, that most of them prepared.
A CBC team spoke with some members of the public who shared their hurricane readiness efforts.
Yes, I'm aware. I have collected water. I have a lot of batteries, extra batteries. I have a lot of canned food.
Well, I didn't know it actually started next week, but I know it was coming up. And the preparations, I'm not sure if it's just happened by coincidence, but throughout the weekend, I had cleaned up around the house and what's not. So I guess that's in preparation for the same hurricane season.
We have a go bag, we get different things, we get food, we get dry stuff, we get our documents, all of our passports and so on, put them in a waterproof bag and stuff like that.
Getting some tin stuff, making sure that the medication and everything in the house is up to scratch.
Tied up around the house, make sure everything is clean, no loose debris. Just make sure the house is stocked, batteries, flashlight, water, canned foods.
Just a few days ago, subtropical storm Anna formed off the coast of Bermuda, putting officials there on high alert. During a telephone interview this evening, Deputy Director of the Barbados Department of Emergency Management, Danielle Skeet, urged Barbadians to be proactive by taking necessary precautions ahead of the hurricane season.
The events of the last 18 months have showed us that we may not always have the time that we think that we should have. And therefore, we need to ensure that our preparations are in place, that we have adequate supplies of the food items and the essential things that we will need for our survival kits, including our bottled water, including our medications, our first aid supplies, etc. And also, we would want to ensure that on the home front, that we have our surroundings tidy, that our drains are free from debris, which would alleviate some of the pressures caused by lots of rainfall, etc., including flooding.
While the Florida-based National Hurricane Center does not anticipate the historic level of storm activity seen in 2020, it is predicting an above-normal hurricane season this year. Aaliyah Briggs, CBC News.
A signed agreement yesterday is expected to put young Barbadians in a better position to maximize the opportunities in the renewable energy sector. This is one of the intended consequences of a memorandum of understanding inked between the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology and Emira Caribbean Renewables. It will ensure student benefits from on-the-job training in the fast-growing industry. Speaking at the soon-to-be-commissioned 1-megawatt cloud solar site at Guinea Plantation, St. John, SJPI Principal Ian Drakes called it a brilliant step and the start of a productive relationship.
We are confident at the SJPI that the training provided will ensure our students can enter work with skills and make a meaningful contribution from day one. We are looking forward to a long and fruitful relationship with ECRL, and we really thank them for offering this opportunity. And as I was saying earlier to some of my colleagues, that we want to be able to answer the students after they've graduated from the SJPI and they have a wonderful certificate to say what is next.
First for Emira Caribbean Renewables, and the manager Nielsen Beamby says the MOU is a key initiative for the development of training courses and Emira-sponsored scholarships. According to him, industry attachments will give the students hands-on training in the areas of photovoltaic and battery installation.
It's one thing to install a lot of renewable systems and diversify the technologies and have investments inside the country. But what's going to be most important for the country is having the next generation, which will be the students of SJPI who are here today, future students in the program, to have that practical on-the-job training so they can take the industry forward even beyond 2030. So this MOU, we are really looking forward to work together with SJPI on this. And we just welcome the next step for assisting the future generation in learning best practices for putting their theory into practice, and also just being able to work with an employer that could help get them ready for whether it's companies that they want to open up or even if they move on and go on to bigger and better things.
Over to St. Lucia now, where education officials held a stakeholder consultation to address the recent rise in attacks on secondary school students. 5 students of the Leon Hess Comprehensive School were recently assaulted and robbed by bandits in the capital city in the span of 1 week. We hear more in this report.
Is your child safe on their way to and from school? A recent spate of attacks and robberies on secondary school students of the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School elicited a high-level multi-sectorial meeting of stakeholders to discuss and strategize a way to safeguard students from becoming victims of random attacks.
Our main focus will be traffic patrol. We have also identified as to what means that we're going to take in patrolling that area.
Acting Inspector of Police Calixtus Shalmine detailed the difficulties with limited resources while attempting to ramp up patrols.
Sustaining an issue is sustaining that can be a challenge for our department because we are stretched as present, and with the COVID situation, the shift rotation normally puts a strain on the department. We'll do our best to manage that situation at national area.
The president of the National Council on Public Transportation, Godfrey Ferdinand, highlighted the need for the immediate implementation of some of the strategies.
For all the different stakeholders to come together, formulate a plan, and that plan would be to increase security, as well as having the students take the buses instead of walking. And if it requires that the principals and the teachers at least have what you call a PTA meeting to instruct the parents to have their children wait at the school, that would be a better format for us, or should I say solution, because most of these things happen all along the route, not necessarily on the bus stops.
Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer offered her expectations of the results coming out of the engagement with transport and law enforcement officials.
We met with the police, very fruitful meeting, out of which came quite strategic plans to support our students and their well-being. Today we're meeting with the transport services, as well as the police are represented. We have our chief transport officer with us, principals are there as well, because we want to make sure that everybody works together.
In Guyana, June 18th is now the date set for the ruling on whether the Police Service Commission can go ahead and promote officers who have pending disciplinary matters. We hear more in this report from HGP TV.
Those senior ranks of the Guyana Police Force who are eagerly waiting to be promoted will have to wait much longer, since the High Court has put off its ruling on whether the practice by the Police Service Commission of not promoting officers with pending disciplinary matters is lawful. The ruling is now set for June 18, 2021. It was Senior Superintendent of Police Calvin Brutus who had challenged the PSC in court after his disciplinary matter, the PSC, was not completed in time for promotion. The ruling was really deferred because attorney for policeman Brutus has begged the court to file additional submissions. The lawyer in his submission is questioning the operations of the Police Service Commission without judicial scrutiny and have said that the PSC, by the Constitution, does not allow it to act entirely as it sees fit in the exercise of powers conferred upon it. A legal mind has told Nightly News that the filings by the officers should have been thrown out a while ago, since a ruling to this effect had been made 4 years ago. In 2017, former President David Granger had instructed the Police Service Commission not to go ahead with promoting officers of the Guyana Police Force. During that time, a commission of inquiry into the effectiveness of the Guyana Police Force in investigating a June 2015 alleged assassination plot against David Granger was ongoing.
Thousands of people are leaving the eastern city of Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo after warnings that a volcano there could erupt for a second time. The volcano blew up on Saturday, sending rivers of lava flowing towards the city, destroying hundreds of houses.
Less than a week after Mount Nyiragongo, one of the world's most active volcanoes, killed dozens and destroyed entire villages, the government has ordered a mass evacuation of Goma City in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, fearing a second eruption. The population of an entire city seems to be on the move.
I'm fleeing the volcano. I'm going to Ruchuru because I have no choice. The governor told us to evacuate the town.
Lava flows have already killed dozens of people and caused widespread destruction. The governor of North Kivu province ordered a mandatory evacuation after seismic data showed magma rising beneath Goma City, a sign another eruption could happen at any time.
We're taking our belongings. The governor told us on the radio that we have to evacuate and leave Goma, but we don't have an exact destination.
Hundreds of earthquakes that followed the first eruption leveled buildings across the city, continuing tremors, leaving open cracks in the earth.
I'm going to Kigali as the situation seems to be uncertain in Goma. The volcano may erupt again and we're scared. We were told by the authorities last night that we had to leave with our families.
Many of Goma's residents have abandoned any effort to salvage their lives from the charred landscape, the threat of another volcanic eruption adding to the already swelling numbers of displaced people. Now, the only priority is to outrun the lava.
Sporting news now, and Chris Gayle, Shakib Al Hassan and Faf du Plessis will be playing at the 2021 Caribbean Premier League, which takes place in St. Kitts and Nevis from August 28th to September the 19th. The hard-hitting Chris Gayle will be back with the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots for this year's CPL tournament. Gayle, who previously played for the Patriots in 2017 and 2018, guided them to their only Hero CPL final in his first year with the franchise. As the leading run scorer in the T20 history, he brings a huge amount of experience to the Patriots squad. The Bangladeshi all-rounder Shakib Al Hassan will also be joining the CPL, turning out for the Jamaica Talawaz, while former South Africa captain Faf du Plessis will play for the St. Lucia Zouks. In other news, cricketing news, fast bowler Jofra Archer is ready to sit out the summer in order to be fit for the 2020 World Cup and Ashes later this year. The 26-year-old had surgery on his troublesome right elbow on Friday and has started rehabilitation work with the England and Sussex medical teams. Archer had an injection for the long-standing elbow problem in March and has played only 2 matches since then. The England bowler managed only 5 overs in the second innings of Sussex's draw with Kent earlier this month. A further update and guidance on when he will return to bowling is expected in about 4 weeks. Olympic champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce said her opportunity and her priority for this Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan, is running faster than 10.70 in the 100 meter, but indicates that it would be nice to be on the podium yet again with a medal and the time she's passionately in pursuit of. During a medal session, a media session that is, ahead of her Diamond League 100 meter race in Doha later today, the 2-time Olympic 100-meter champion and 4-time world champion was asked what she hopes to get out of the Olympic Games.
Having been on the podium so many times, if I'm honest, I'm really looking forward to being on the podium, which is good for me. But I think this time around, I'm really looking forward to running below 10.7. You know, that is definitely, as I said, a big dream and something that I'm working, hard towards. So, to have both would definitely be a blessing. But if you ask me, which one I rank higher, I would definitely say I want to run 10.6 or even faster. So for me, that's definitely what I want, but to have the combination will definitely be good. So I'm working towards the combination as well.
Time now for a look at the weather. It will be mostly sunny today in Barbados, and it will feel like that too as the apparent temperature is already at 29 degrees Celsius. The actual temperature is 27 right now. The relative humidity stands at 60%. The barometric pressure this morning, 1014 millibars is where it stands, and those winds have dropped off slightly, coming out of the east at 29 kilometers per hour. We'll get a low tide at 23 minutes after 11 this morning. The high tide will be pretty late in the afternoon, early evening at 6:01. Those seas are calm to moderate in open water right now. Swells are around the 2-meter mark, but you can expect them to increase. As I said, it will be mostly sunny here in Barbados today with only a few brief isolated showers. And tonight it will be mostly clear with a few brief isolated light showers. Over in the Lesser Antilles today and tonight, conditions will be fair to partly cloudy with only a few brief isolated showers. The sun is out in London and they're getting up to 21 degrees Celsius today. They will be happy with that. The same for Frankfurt, Germany. In Miami, a little warmer, up to 28 degrees Celsius there. It will be as cool as 24 degrees Celsius. In New York, it's cloudy, and Boston, it's cloudy too, but they're getting into the 20s as well. And that's it for this edition of the Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday the 28th of May, 2021. Welcome to Morning Barbados. I'm Pearson Bowen. To those of you also joining us on our Facebook stream, a very good morning to you as well. You can find us on Facebook at CBC Barbados or on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. Great having your company today. Today, you'll also get 3 chances to win with us. And of course, you stand by for those opportunities. We'd also today hear from a young lady who has released her first gospel single. And in that single, she tells her story of triumph over everything else. We'd also today get to hear a little bit more about that young man who has taken up the craft of crocheting. I know some of you startled when you heard that just now, but you'll get to meet him and he'll tell his story. But let's get started today by reconnecting with one of those young faces who over 14 years ago was a part of this show through the Emerging Global Leaders. Today we meet Rasheed Drakes. Good morning to you, Rasheed.
Good morning, Pearson.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. All grown up now. This young boy who came in here, his school uniform, is now a police constable, as a matter of fact. Congratulations.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
I know when we asked you guys, when we met you the first time, you know, what was your life dream? And you said to us you wanted to be a member of the police force, and you've realized that. Why at the time did you think that you ought to serve in that way?
Well, my mom always used to say from the time I was a baby, in Pampers. I always wanted to be a policeman. When I see the cops showing on TV, I'll be jumping up and down, saying I want to be a police. And that just continues to translate throughout my primary level, secondary level, to the fact that it is a reality where I have been a police for the past 8 years.
But, you know, it was one thing to say I'd want to be, I was playing with my little cops and robbers games and so on, but you have actually fulfilled your dream, so to speak. What was it like, though, staying focused on attaining what it is you wanted to do?
Well, joining the Emerging Global Leaders of Barbados back then, you know, kind of grounded me to stay focused, being around positive young people to continue to push that dream and reality. And, you know, some may say, how do you become a police officer? That job is, you know, taxing, but yet still do charity work. And it just all comes down to time management.
Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people are thinking, Emerging Global Leaders, what was that like? So let's talk about the experience of being among those, all of you, very enterprising young people at the time.
When Lisa from your team asked me to sign some pictures, right? When I compared then to now, I could not believe that those are some of the activities we were doing.
Yes.
You know, 14 years is a very long time in charity work in the community, working amongst the youth. But I recall we used to meet in Queen's Park by the gazebo, have our icebreakers. We moved to a meeting in the Ministry of Education conference room to the stage where we meet at St. Michael's School. So like over the years, it has grown. I'm now the deputy chairman of the board, where Christianisha Soling, the founder, she's the chairman. So there's the board of directors, and then there is the executive, which is mainly made up of the younger persons,
Yes.
like when it was Krista and I back then. So these young persons just continue to remind me about ourselves when we were younger, and we just want to continue to encourage them to strive for the best.
You know, Rasheed, you could have given up. You could have said, like anybody else, you know what, I've had enough, I've grown up. You know, that's for you younger ones to continue. But you've stuck with it. Why?
Yes. I think it is a joy to just continue to promote positive young people. You know, the media continues to promote the negative in the young people, you know, the crime and so forth. But there are a lot of positive young people out there doing positive things. And, you know, it's just time enough that the media on a holistic promote those activities, promote those initiatives to show that there are positive young people. So, again, it's just a joy to continue to promote that positivity amongst young people.
You know, you have a convert in me, early o'clock. I agree with you completely that we ought to be able to also tell the stories of those great things that our young people are actually doing that make a tremendous difference positively to our ongoing experience. And so the emerging global leaders transitioned into the United Youth Leaders of Barbados. Do you have any idea as to why that changed?
Yes, just let's say in 2011 there was a need for rebranding. And that is why we moved from the Emerging Global Leaders of Barbados to the United Youth Leaders of Barbados. And we are a registered charity. So, you know, we just continue it's just the branding element of it. However, we continue to do all of the work that we used to do when we were the Emerging Global Leaders of Barbados. We continue to partner with those entities, governmental and non-governmental entities, in carrying out our programming.
You know what I also liked from way back then was I would always quiz you guys on what was happening, and you always had a response to what's current, the current affairs of the day. Is that still encouraged among the United Youth Leaders of Barbados, where everybody gets a chance to comment and share an opinion on what's going on?
Yes, definitely. However, you know, because of the pandemic we were in, and some of the directives back then were saying that, you know, the limited contact, we were unable to, you know, get in person, have those debates, have those sessions where, you know, we get the young people to speak out. However, we have used the Zoom platform to continue to have that voice, because one of our objectives is to give young people a voice, and we want to maintain that objective.
That's so important. How do you get people to be a part of it, though, the United Youth Leaders of Barbados?
Well, we haven't started our in-person sessions as yet. However, persons are free to follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, Youth Leaders of Barbados, or drop us an email at uylbarbados@gmail.com and get further information.
So how's it been so far, though, Rasheed? We want to catch up with you now, Rasheed, the person now. So Rasheed, this young man, grew up to be the policeman he'd always wanted to be. How's life been?
It has been 8 years. You may say a little bit tired because I finished work last night. But I promised Alicia from your team that I would do the interview. But, you know, with the crime situation, I won't go into detail. However, you know, it would require more of a police officer in 2021.
And are you prepared to step up to do that as well?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well done, Rasheed. Getting young people, though, back on track. I know there's a part of what the police force does in terms of being able to go into community with the DARE program and the different programs that are at play. Are you also a part of that activity?
No. Currently, I'm with the K9 unit within the force. However, I'm at the disposal of the police force if they need me to assist in any of those initiatives.
Give me, from your point of view, your overall assessment of young people in Barbados. What do you think it is?
First of all, it is not a matter of blaming anyone. However, it's going to be a holistic intervention needed by all levels within society, from government right down to the average person within the community, to help continue to push positivity to young people. You know, a lot of young people grow up here, oh, the young people ain't good, the young people this, the young people that. Even though that, you know, you may be guilty at what the general public is saying, they still need those programs and initiatives that will ground them to do positive activities. So again, I don't want to be, doing a blaming game. I just believe that all hands need to be on deck in dealing with the crime situation and relates to youth and its entirety.
So how do we then use the United Youth Leaders of Barbados to not become a club, but to become a real avenue and opportunity for young people to see their best potential?
Even though we have been in existence the past 14 years, we still need the support of those established entities, whether it is government or non-governmental organizations, to continue to push the United Youth Leaders of Barbados as part of their programs. Where, let's say, if, as you said, the police force may have programs that target the youth, use the United Youth Leaders of Barbados to get into communities, right? So because young people hear young people, they see young people, they understand young people's language, even though there's some things now that I don't understand that they say, but not putting age on me.
Yes.
But use the United Youth Leaders of Barbados and other like-minded organizations, youth organizations, to get the message across to young people, because we hear and we understand each other.
Very well said, Rasheed. Still very proud of your work. I really want to commend you as well for sticking with it. Sticking with it, because it's so important. A lot of us people, we grow up and we grow tired and we want to move on because we want to have the new experience. But sometimes sticking with it is what's most important. And you've done so, Rasheed. You've shown by who you are from way back then, 14 years ago, that you were determined and you continue to be determined and focused. Congratulations,
Definitely.
Rasheed. Congratulations. Well
Thank
done.
you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Rasheed Drakes, who is the Deputy Chair of the United Youth Leaders of Barbados, but he was one of those who came through the ranks with us right here in this studio on Morning Barbados as a member of the Emerging Global Leaders, and so we're very proud to meet up with him yet again to see what's the latest with him. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, opportunity for you to win with Beep. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time for us to keep it clean with Beep. You get a chance to win right now when you call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. I have a question. Do you have the answer? 228-5562 or 228-5563 to keep it clean with Beep. You get a chance to win a lovely gift basket of a range of Beep products. But today's question is for you to list for me 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray. List 3 fragrances, just 3. 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray. Call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I must tell you, if you've won before, you don't get a chance to win again. Hi there, good morning to you. Good morning. 228-5562 or 228-5563. List for me 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray. Good morning. Still trying to. Good morning. All right, we'll try to get that worked out. I want to get the caller into my. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Pearson. I'm fine, thank you.
You know my name. What's yours?
My name is Marcia.
Hello, Marcia. Good to meet you. So, Marcia, have you tried Beep before?
Yes, I use Beat dishwashing liquid. I use all the products in Beat.
You do?
Yes, please.
So then you should know the answer to this question. List for me 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray. Let me hear you.
Okay, lavender.
I thought you knew them all.
Pearson, you have me there. I'm stuck.
Well, that's my job.
Lavender for sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I dare you to tell me. Go ahead. Let me hear you. Miss Beep.
Lemon.
Go ahead.
I'm stuck, Pearson. I cannot remember the other one.
You don't have any in your house right now?
All I have is the dishwashing liquid.
Oh, well, then you got to go to the supermarket later on today and update. All right? But thanks, thanks for trying. Thanks for trying.
Pearson. Orange is one.
All right, Marcia.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good day. Let's see if we get a caller. 228-5562 or 228-5563. List 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray. 3 of them, just 3. Let's see how good you are. Keep it clean with Beep. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm okay.
I'm Pearson. What's your first name?
My name is Neville.
Neville. All right, Neville. Are you the kind of guy who cleans around the house?
Yes.
All right, so Neville, list 3 fragrances of the Beep disinfectant spray.
Okay, I have Original, Island Breeze.
I'm listening.
And Fresh Air.
Any others?
Well, that's the ones that I can remember.
That's all you remember?
Yes.
So which of those would you use often?
Island Breeze.
Why?
Because it smells real good.
It does? What does it smell like? Liken it to something that's familiar to everyone.
Like
cake?
No, not like cake, no. A fresh smell.
It keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
All right, Neville, you're absolutely right in listing for me Fresh Air, Island Breeze, and the Original. And those are just 3, you know, and I really want to commend you for getting that right, Neville. So you're the man who does all the cleaning around the house, or do you get assistance from the ladies in the house as well?
I get assistance from the ladies, you know.
You're right. Put some grease, elbow grease into what we're doing, right? Work with me.
Yep.
I like you already, Neville. Thanks a lot, Neville. Stay on the phone. Someone will take some information from you, Neville, of course. And congratulations, Neville has won that gift basket as we keep it clean with Beep. All righty then, see? Total transition. We're now 11 minutes to go to the hour of 7 o'clock as we continue to update you on the ongoing work of the Barbados Accreditation Council. And so we're joined this morning by the Information Officer, a familiar face to you, Marcus Myers. Good morning to you, Marcus.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you doing? And good morning to Barbados.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so this is a distinct privilege on your part. I don't usually speak to people until I get that coffee, but I'm energized to speak to you this morning.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're able to put aside your favorite brew to talk to me this morning. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the Barbados Accreditation Council. A lot of people are still uncertain as to what is its role. So what is it that you guys do?
Okay, well, the Barbados Accreditation Council can be broken down into 2 broad roles. The first role is the registration and re-registration and accreditation and re-accreditation of post-secondary educational institutions and training programs, as well as courses in Barbados. So what does all of that mean? Many persons are probably asking. So registration basically means that an educational provider has met the necessary requirements to operate in Barbados.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's good. Then, so with all of that, we want to be absolutely certain that as we engage with these institutions, that they are legit, so to speak. And this is where the Barbados Accreditation Council can set our minds at ease, knowing that it is legit, right?
Yes, precisely. So for students and prospective enrollees, it is very important that you go to a school that has been registered by the council, that has been recognized by the council, or even better yet, accredited by the council.
Now, given the whole pandemic and how we do things today, look at how you and I are interacting using the technology that's available, a lot of people are now seeking that route to accredit themselves by their education. How does the Barbados Accreditation Council settle my mind, put my mind at ease that the association with which I'm engaging is indeed a legitimate and accredited association?
Yes, well, okay, so there's something that everyone can do at home that takes like 2 minutes. The first thing that you can do is we have a listing on our website. That listing is all of the registered providers that are currently registered with the council, as well as the ones that are accredited with the council. But the next thing that you can do is that you can call us, because although there may be some providers that are not on our listing that are registered now, there are some that are currently going through the process of registration. So from there, you can call us and just ask a question about the institution in question. And then the next thing you can do is you can use our recognition of institution and or program service. So what that is if you decide you want to go overseas and you want to pursue education there, or you want to investigate an educational provider somewhere, we would do that research for you.
Well, that's good to know. But, you know, I want to be accredited in something that's not taught in Barbados. So I'm going to find an institution that's providing me with an online course. But how do I know that that online course is safe?
Well, what I would say is you can use our recognition of institution and our program service. So what that would do is basically we have a technical team, the quality assurance team, and they do that research to ensure that that institution is indeed accredited with another accrediting body in another part of the world. Because in each territory, there should be an accrediting body that would assess the reliability, the credibility, the validity of these institutions. So we do that research and we ensure that that is something that is worth your while. That program you're looking to do is worth your while.
Does it cost me anything for you to do that work?
Yes, it does actually. Yes, it does. It does. So it does cost $70. And from there, we would have our quality assurance team do that research. It takes approximately 40 working days, and the reason for that, as explained by Ms. Karen Collins, who was on the program 2 weeks ago, she basically explained that it requires us contacting these accrediting bodies to make sure that that school in question is what they appear to be online.
We've been talking also a lot about the CARICOM Skills Certificate. Why do you think that's important now that we actually go that route of, you know, certifying our skills?
Well, that's a good question, and I think that the pandemic has changed a lot of things, has changed the landscape for a lot of people, especially in certain areas where you can see like the job market is shrinking, and people are looking to re-strategize. They're looking to, in terms of their own personal development and their own financial standing, take their personal development to the next level and look at all the tools that are at their disposal. And I believe that the CARICOM Skill Certificate can help with that because it can open doors to other territories where you can work and use your skill.
You know, we've seen global organizations and regional organizations as well advertise vacancies. And so we figure it's as simple as simply applying. The best man gets the job, or woman, and there we go, we're good to go. But then there are other categories of workers who don't necessarily want to go through that process, but want still to be able to travel the region and work in a different jurisdiction. And so let's talk broadly about those categories of workers who should get themselves that CARICOM Skill Certificate, because it will assist them.
Oh yes, of course. So many years ago, CARICOM leaders, this is pre-pandemic, this is many decades ago. CARICOM leaders came together and said there needs to be a way that we can ease or at least facilitate the travel of skilled workers, because there are many skilled workers across the region, here in Barbados and across the region, such as yourself. And that would do well for both the individual, because they can improve their economic standing and use their skill in an area that has where their skill is in highest demand. And also they will be adding to these industries and other territories, and improve the economic landscape. So what I would say is the categories, the skill categories, although they sound broad, they have very specific requirements in order to be eligible. And if you don't mind, I can actually say all 12. Okay. So for our persons listening right now at home, if you hear anything that sounds like it is describing you, please do some research with the Accreditation Council, right? So we have graduates, artisans, media persons, artistes, sports persons, musicians, teachers, household domestics, professional nurses, security guards, agricultural workers, and holders of an associate degree or a comparable qualification. These are the 12 categories for eligibility.
That almost sounds like everybody, quite frankly. Almost all of us found ourselves in some way connected in any of those categories. Yeah. So what's the application process like, though, to acquire that skill certificate?
Well, the application process, basically, what you can do, you can start it at home, and that would require that you download the application form from our website, or you could come into the office and you can get your application form, and from there you would have some required documentation that is necessary, and documentation such as passport photos, 2 professional reference letters, also your birth certificate or proof that you are a CARICOM national. These are the general documents, and then from there you would then under the category that you are applying under, but that would determine the qualifications necessary for that. And then from there, it would take about 7 working days, a minimum of 7 working days, for us to process the application. And from there, you would be granted the CARICOM skill certificate if all goes well.
Fantastic. So with all of that said, what's the website and where can we find you?
The website is bac.gov.bb. It is our newly upgraded website. I'm very proud of it. and also you can call us at 535-6740. And if you're just walking in Warrens for some reason, you could just come pass by and say hello to the staff and collect your documents. So we are at Suite 1, Building 1, Manor Lodge Complex, Lodge Hill, St. Michael. So that's right across from Princeton.
Indeed. So bac.gov.bb is the website to which you can go, download your form and begin the process of applying for your CARICOM skill certificate, or give the office a call or just visit there in St. Michael. Opposite Price Smart, go to the rear Manor Lodge and you're good to go. You can't miss it. Big sign and you'll see it there. Information Officer with the Barbados Accreditation Council, Marcus Myers. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, for once again reintroducing us to the ongoing work of the Barbados Accreditation Council. We wish all of you guys every success going forward. Thank you, Marcus.
You as well, Pearson, and a big shout out to the Mornin Barbados team. Shout out to Alicia, Nadia, who put this together. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you too, Marcus. Those 2 ladies whose names he called are our producers to the show, so a big thank you to them as well. Alicia, Als Grant, Nadia Foster. Now, let's have our good decision of the day. Our good decision of the day is today brought to you by Glucerna, with those nutrients to support your immune system. We say today, making the right choice. Let that be, making the right choice. A wrong decision taken at the right time is better than a right decision taken at the wrong time. It's not about making the right choice. It's about making a choice and making it right. Making the right choice. That's our good decision of the day, brought to you by Glucerna, with nutrients to support your immune system. A break, and when we come back, the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's have another look at the news. Once again, here's Shane Seeley.
For 7 a.m. headline news, and given those predictions for an above normal 2021 Atlantic hurricane season and countries battling the COVID-19 pandemic, the Caribbean Public Health Agency CARPHA is advising Barbados and the region to adopt a multi-hazard approach in their preparedness efforts. Director of Surveillance, Disease Prevention and Control, Dr. Lisa Indar, says the multi-hazard approach must be embraced by all players. Dr. Indar was part of a panel discussion organized by the Caribbean Tourism Organization on the region's readiness for the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season.
This is the multi-hazard approach that I'm speaking about. The whole idea, countries are now going to be faced with this extra burden. It's an extra burden on the health system because it's the same health system. When you have a hurricane, in addition to all these infrastructural damages and all of that, you now have the increased likelihood of food and waterborne disease, physical injuries, less medical services that are going to be available to you, physical injuries, mental stress. So the protocols, your protocols have to be a multi-hazard protocol. And these are things where SEDIMA and the Caribbean Public Health Agency have worked together. It means including now COVID into your protocol. So for instance, we just did one for the St. Vincent evacuation.
Very worrisome is how the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union President Marianne Redmond is describing the COVID-19 situation at the island schools. She says in the first month since the restart of face-to-face classes here in Barbados, there have been 4 cases of COVID-19 among children.
We are advising our teachers to maintain the 6-foot distancing in the classroom that the union has advised them to do, and that we have advised the Ministry of Education that we are not moving away from in terms of that protocol. And we are advising the teachers to constantly adhere to the protocols and as best they can encourage the children to do so.
And on that note, Ms. Redmond says it's very difficult to get the students to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols.
It is a very draining process. The teachers have complained to get them to properly wear masks, to wear the mask at the times that they should, to social distance, because the children like to congregate, to gather, to be close together.
Understood.
And that is a problem. As well as transportation, what is happening in the public transport system as it relates to the movement of children from school to their homes and vice versa.
2 men tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday, and they were identified from the 544 tests conducted by the Best dos Santos Public Health Lab. 42 people remain in isolation. There have been 4,006 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since March last year, and the virus has claimed 47 lives. The Public Health Lab has conducted a total of 168,135 tests. The National Vaccination Program, meanwhile, has seen 77,084 people vaccinated against COVID-19. This includes 57,998 who have already received both doses of the vaccine. And people who have already received their first COVID-19 vaccine before April 1st and are awaiting their second shot are being urged to take advantage of the immunization unit's open day today. It will run from 10 this morning to 2 in the afternoon at 4 venues: the St. Andrew Parish Church in Belle Plaine, the Sandals Conference Center, Maxwell Cross Road, Christchurch, and in St. Michael at the BIDC Building, number 2 Harbour Road, and the Winston Scott Polyclinic in Gemmetts Lane. Those members of the public are asked to walk with that blue vaccination card when you go to those centers. And that's your 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. Back to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you very much. It's 5 minutes after 7. We're going to take a break right here. Another opportunity for you to win with Crumbs Bakery comes up after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're approaching 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. Time for you to win now with our Crumbs question of the day. You get on the phone to call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563 because here comes today's Crumbs question of the day. That question is, how many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken carry? How many flavors of coffee? How many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken carry? How many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken carry? I wonder who will know this one first. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad, and you?
Then you're doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing fine, thank you. So, what's your answer for me?
Cream.
3? Did you say 3?
Cream.
Nope. Thank you, ma'am. Not at all. You're wrong. Thank you for trying. So the question is, how many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken have? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Hi, yes, good morning.
Yes.
What's your answer?
That would be 4 flavors.
You're telling me for a fact?
Yes, I am, sir.
Which Crispies branch did you go to?
Well, I've never been to one, but I look at the commercials, and I guess very well.
I like you bad. You are so wrong. It is unbelievable. Thanks, sir.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
I'll get you another.
Good girl. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Come, we got to get a winner out of you today. We're going to have some fun with this. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. The question, how many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken carry? You guys know this. You coffee lovers know this. All of you who go to crispy fried chicken, you know this. How many flavors of coffee does crispy fried chicken carry? 228-5562 or 228-5563. So let's go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking. What's your answer?
I would say 3.
I wouldn't say that. So what are you going to do now? Thanks. That one is the last one? Jeez. Or do we take one more? One more. I'm having so much fun. Hi, good morning to you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, what's the answer?
Is it 2?
Don't ask me questions. What's the answer?
2.
Wrong. Thank you here. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. No winner. Absolutely no winner this morning. You guys, listen. Go into crispy fried chicken today, tomorrow. Go when they're open and see for yourself. Because something tells me this question is going to come around again, you know. You get a chance to win then. Thank you so much to Crumbs this morning. And thank you, too, for being such good sports and interacting with me this morning on our Crumbs question of the day. Another question comes up on Monday, should God spare life. That's right, the next chapter is all about books. And one of those books is written by our next guest, Miss Alison Brown Ellis. Good morning to you, Alison.
Good morning, Person. Good morning. And a special good morning to Barbados.
Oh, that is so precious. Good morning to you indeed. You've written this book, Life Lessons, A Purpose-Driven Leadership Journey. You're telling your story. So tell me a little bit about your story.
Oh, well, so the book really is a collection of some of my most defining moments on my path to leadership. I would have to say to you that the main theme from the book is really, it doesn't matter where you start once you have a vision for your life and you're committed to staying on that journey. So as growing up in a small community in Barbados, I was raised very humbly, what most would say in conditions of poverty. And I just made a determination very early on in life that, education was clearly the only thing that was going to help me to break that cycle and to be able to carve a path for the generations coming behind me. And, the book speaks to my dreams, my struggles, and the path to success, and really offers a guide, I would say, to our existing career professionals and our emerging leaders of today. So really excited to be here this morning.
I'm glad you are. Now, a lot of times we figure that people can work it out for themselves and self-motivate, but there's some people who need motivation. So what was it for you? Who was it that caused you in your poverty, as you described it, to say within yourself, you know what, Alison can do this, Alison will break the cycle, Alison will become? Who was it that did that for you?
Well, I raised up and watched my mom and my grandmother who's passed away. They were both so instrumental in shaping the person that I am today. I saw persons that were committed to hard work. They were dedicated to the cause. And even though their journey was obviously very different to the path that I've taken, they have influenced me in such a way that I knew I could not bear to see the pain that existed on their faces as they would come home from the plantation. I knew that I had to be the one to do something different. And a lot of it really came from self-belief and self-motivation, and being able to see the lives that other persons were living, and not as a means of saying, oh my God, I am jealous, but really as a means of saying, I can do this. If they can do this or have this, I can do it too. And a lot of the combination of watching my mom and my grandmother, and then that internal drive to really make something of myself. And I talk about it in the book where I say, I don't know what makes something of myself meant then, but clearly the path that I started to embark on, it started to evolve. And this is where I am now, being able to sit around certain rooms in corporate Barbados and really being able to pour into others as a means of offering them, persons looking on, the inspiration that they too can believe that they can do it, and really set off on that path.
Walk me through some of the pages of the book, though, to show me how the path is laid out. What are some of the subject areas that you've looked at?
Sure. The first thing I talk about, Pearson, is really understanding your purpose, because it is important to recognize that it's not going to be easy if you're not grounded in something. And for me, I speak about what kept me grounded, and really it was the ability to be able to shape a new life for myself and my family, and to be able to introduce a better quality of life. And that essentially started to evolve into me identifying with a greater purpose. And from as early as then to now, I've connected with the ability to pour into others, to do better for myself so that I can help and bring others along. And then I move on to talking about why it is so important to always get up, get dressed, and show up, because that makes a huge difference to how you start to shape your personal brand. And for me, I take my personal brand very, very seriously, because at the end of the day, it is all defining my core values, me as a person, but projecting that outward image. So a lot of it is built on the fact that I strive for excellence in everything that I do, and that in itself is what causes me to remain consistent. And I always say that there's no success without a high degree of consistency, because that's what ultimately people attach your name to and really makes a difference. The book then goes on. I talk about what I consider to be the most critical skills for success. So I talk about building capacity. How do you ensure that you're able to overcome obstacles? I'm also looking at things like making sure that you understand what leadership entails and how to lead, especially in this COVID-19 era. The last chapter that I included was actually tied to leading in times of crisis, because you know what I learned learned in that experience, in this experience we're faced with now, is that I don't have all of the answers. And it is okay as a leader to show vulnerability, because that's how you garner trust and the confidence needed for the team to believe that you will overcome these situations. And then I talk about things like balancing, the fact that balance is important in life, making sure that you have the right persons in your circle. And that's one of the things I focus on a lot when I'm speaking to others on social or making presentations. The fact that you have to identify the circle, because your circle needs to motivate you. Your circle needs to inspire you and light fire under you when you don't have it within you yourself, because we all reach those hurdles from time to time. And then, it's really about embracing the journey, not looking and focusing on others for validation or comparison, but really understanding what is my purpose, creating that game plan that will help you to achieve the goals and the dreams you've set for your life, and really setting forward and being intentional about that. So all of that, very much, the chapters are very short, but they're very succinct, and they have some really, really good nuggets. And I was intentional to wrap it around my personal experiences so that I could make the book as relatable as possible.
In everything I've heard you just say, you're not just about yourself, even though you've written about your experiences. You're also about imparting on to others what you have experienced and helping them achieve their purpose and their best potential as well. How are you able to do so now?
Absolutely. So there are a number of ways. I started the book during COVID, believe it or not, outside of my 13, 14-hour days. I kept thinking, how can you do more, Allison? There must be, because I'd reached a stage where I do have a few mentees, and persons were constantly, because I am active on social media, mostly Instagram, and I would always share these insightful tips. And so many people were connecting. The feedback from the book was amazing. And still humbling experiences for me when I received that feedback. But I wanted to do more, and I really set about collating a number of articles that I had shared and wrapping those in the book. So the book is really the first opportunity for me to do more on a wider scale. But then at my book launch in November 2020, I brought together a group of women. There were like just over 50 of us, and we had the night was such an empowering night. And again, the experience, the launch was not about me, because what I did was to integrate life lessons from a number of ladies. So as opposed to me doing all the talking, I actually had women there sharing their stories, and they were all at different stages in their lives and their career and their businesses. And that was such an empowering moment, because what I've always found in business is that sometimes we get so self-centered that we don't recognize that as leaders, we're here to influence others. We're here to give others opportunities to shine and to achieve their fullest potential. So coming out of that, I've actually now, with my two co-founders, Carrie Mapp and Tricia Griffith, we've actually just launched Boss Ladies United in February. And that association is a professional development and networking association. Our focus really is on trying to build up the competence necessary for women to succeed in business, and also to focus on more collaboration. So through group mentorship, we've been doing quite a bit of that. And then, really finding the opportunities to bring women together so that we can see that we can all coexist. We can all learn from each other, and we can all develop to become the best version of ourselves. So those are just some of the things that I'm doing outside of the normal inspirational messages across my social media channels.
I'm up against time right now, so very quickly, tell us how we can access this book, Life Lessons, A Purpose-Driven Leadership Journey. Where can we find it and how we get it?
Great. So my book is available on Amazon. You can also visit my Instagram page, which is at alibrowne.jpg, and you can select the link in the bio to use the order form. And just generally, my website is lifelessonsbyabe.com. So that website also has an order form. So really, really thankful for the opportunity to chat with you, Pearson. It really has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Alison Brown Ellis, for joining us this morning, for inspiring us as you do so very well every day. And we really want to encourage you to continue actively engaging with those with whom you engage and to make a real difference to our society, not just to the women, but us men as well.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Alison. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. 21 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. And before we take that break, let me just tell you about something here. I want to tell you about Runner's Flea Market. Runner's Flea Market, by the way, you want to know about it? Here's what it's about. There you go. Look at your screen. Look at it. It says, if you're looking for great bargains, then Kensington Mall is the place to be on Saturday the 29th. That's tomorrow. It's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market from 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, right through till 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. Items on sale will include bags and shoes and clothing, plants, and a whole lot more. But to register for a stall space, you need to call. Call these numbers, 850-8661, 850-8661. Be reminded, all COVID-19 health and safety protocols will be in place. If you missed that one very quickly, we'll share it with you a little later on before we go this morning. A break, and we're back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're continuing to bring greater awareness to good health and nutrition for our children in the Barbados Heart and Stroke Foundation Childhood Obesity Prevention Quiz. Your turn to win again by calling us on 228-5562 or 228-5563 to correctly answer this question. The question is, calcium is a mineral known for building strong what? Calcium is a mineral known for building strong what? What? 228-5562 or 228-5563. We have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And what about you?
I'm doing well, Rons.
Yes.
What's your
Strong
answer for
teeth
me?
and
Calcium
bones.
is a mineral known for building strong what?
Teeth and bones.
You sure?
Yes, please. I learned that from your primary school.
So because you learned it in primary school meant that it was right?
Yes. Well, you know what a teacher tell you in primary school, you believe?
So you still have all of your teeth and your bones are still intact?
Well, I got all. I still got the bones, but I got all the teeth.
I love it. You guys are so honest. I love it indeed. And I know you have your little sweets, your grands, and are you encouraging them to also make sure they have sufficient calcium for their bones and teeth?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Encourage them, you know, to the cheese and the milk and those sort of things.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to walk the same road that I walk.
By losing a few things.
Yes, yes. At least I still have my front ones. Understand?
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
At least you can't see the missing ones. That's the important part, you know? All right. Rons, you're absolutely right. Calcium is a mineral known for building strong teeth and bones. You've correctly answered it. So, Rons, you stay on the phone. Someone will take some more information from you because you're a winner in today's Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados Childhood Obesity Prevention Quiz. Well done to you. We're back after this. Oh, and they asked me to let you know, Rons, that you will be collecting your winnings from us here at the CBC between 9 and 4, I think it is. Between 9 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, your winnings will be collected here. Bring some ID and collect. So once we've gathered all the information, we can verify it when you come. All right, a break, and we're back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock now, and let me remind you of that upcoming flea market which is on tomorrow at Kensington Mall, which is opposite Kensington Oval, right there at the intersection. You cannot miss it. So if you're looking for great bargains, then Kensington Mall is the place to be tomorrow, Saturday, for the outdoor grand flea market. It's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Items on sale will include bags, shoes, clothing, plants, and a whole lot more. But to register for stall space, you need to call right now by calling 850-8661. 850-8661. Remember, all COVID-19 health and safety protocols will be in place. I'll remind you one more time before we go this morning. But let's meet this young man now who is in a rather non-traditional field for a young man. His name is Sean Lane, and he is a crochet designer. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
Good to see you. So, at 15 years old, you took up the knitting needle and started to crochet. Why?
The crochet hook, actually.
All right, crochet hook. See, I don't even know. So you're teaching me now. So
yes.
Why?
Why? Well, you know, as a teenage male, the hormones are racing, and there was this girl that I was interested in, and she used to crochet. So I figured that, you know, to gain some extra points, I would learn to crochet. and it went from there.
Ah, look at that. Look at how the heart led you down the path of crocheting indeed and designing. But you had to deal, no doubt, with the stares and the stigma and everything else.
Yes.
So how did you deal with that?
I think that from very young, I was always confident about myself and who I am. And plus, as I said, those hormones racing, you know, you saw a path and you're going down, and it didn't matter really the comments that were coming. Yeah. I did got into some trouble. Some guys in the class made some comments, and I made a rebuttal, and I got into some trouble, got a detention for it. But as I said, I've always been the confident one, knowing who I am and what I was about. So those kind of comments never fazed me.
But you've stuck with it. Are you still crocheting today?
I crochet every day now. Actually, crochet has been a big part of my life in the past 4 years. I have been crocheting every day since.
Every day?
Every day, every day.
Why every day, Sean?
Well, back in 2017, I was formally diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and I found that crocheting helps not necessarily to ease certain feelings and thoughts, but makes it easier to get through the day. You know, you look back on your day, and even if all you did was crochet a few rounds or rows, at least you did something, and you have something to show of who you are, and your creative expression is out there for people to appreciate, and that makes you feel a bit better about yourself.
That's fantastic. And I'm told that you are so good. You know, you are so good. Look at this. Sean, you did this? All of this?
Yes, that is
that Betty B?
Yes, Betty B. And that was done for an online challenge, actually. There was a Facebook group that I'm in, and we had a challenge to design a evening gown.
Wow.
And I took that challenge a bit too seriously.
You're honest. Whoa, who would have thought this is crochet? This is beautiful. And so you design mostly for the ladies?
Yeah, I'm mostly into female fashion. I think that crochet, well, looks better on females. I pay a lot of attention to females in the female form.
Yes.
So I feel at home designing for females.
Right. So you're swimsuits as well, so not just dresses and tops, swimsuits. Give me a sense of the range that you crochet.
The range in terms of types of things, or
the types of clothing.
Okay, so I really love making swimsuits and mini dresses. Those two things I really love to make. But I've crocheted, the traditional doilies. I've crocheted blankets, accessories like hats, tams, beanies, anything really, even barefoot sandals, full-length dresses, tops, blouses, sweaters, hoodies, skirts, pants, shorts, anything.
Did you see yourself doing this at 15 years old? You went after a girl and you saw her not knitting, you know what I mean, crocheting, and you wanted to follow her. But did you see yourself taking it on to the point where now you're actually crafting for so many people and you're providing wear for so many people?
No, of course not. I wasn't even supposed to learn for real. It was just supposed to be a front, you know.
Yes.
Back then I'm actually a trumpeter, and I was really into trumpet studies. I have a licentiate from the Royal Schools of Music in trumpet performance. So I saw myself being a musician back then. No, I had no idea that in my late 30s I'll be a crochet designer.
Wow.
And actually I sell written patterns as well online, and it has had a worldwide reach. So there are a lot of persons online in the crocheting community here in Barbados, regionally and internationally, that would have bought my patterns. And so you can see a BNHO crochet, Sean Lane design on someone else that I might not have made myself, simply because I would have written the actual pattern.
But in doing that, just a question: would you have in terms of your intellectual property? How do you protect that?
Well, Pearson, that's a long conversation. I don't think we have enough time to get into the protection of IP, especially for something as abstract as a crochet pattern. It's not, you might be familiar with the copyright process and protection of music and videos, but it gets a bit different, and it can be a long conversation.
Okay, no problem. But you're doing what you're doing it very, very well. So for anybody watching today who is saying, I love what we saw there created by Sean Lane, How can people access all of your lovely creations or any of them?
Well, I'm online on Instagram, Facebook. I also have 2 online stores that I sell my patterns, Etsy.com and Ravelry.com for the crafters. But my online handle is BNHO, the letters BNHO. And for those Spanish persons out there hearing BNHO, that means well done or well made. So I'm BNHO Crochet on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find me there. You can send the messages. You can even place your orders.
Sean, to any young boy, would you recommend crocheting? And if so, why?
Yes, of course. There are lots of benefits to crocheting. As I mentioned before, there are mental health benefits. You start to get a sense of accomplishment and self-worth, and you I mean, it can be another income stream if you're down in a particular field. You can combat boredom. For example, we are going through a pandemic now, and a lot of people would have picked up crafting within the past year and some. Through a natural disaster, you have something there to occupy your time, a long journey on a flight. The benefits are endless, really, when it comes to not just crocheting, but I mean knitting, needlepoint, basketry, macrame. There's so many different things that
Use your talents. Use your talents.
Yes, yes.
You know,
and again, that feeling of accomplishment and self-worth is important, because when someone can appreciate what you do and what came from you, you start to feel a bit better about, you say, okay, yes, I'm good enough. I am good. And the more you hear it, the more you try to better yourself, and that in turn increases your good feels, to put it simple.
Well said, well said. Now, you said you're into trumpets, but all behind you I see a range of guitars. You're also into that?
I am right now in Azramam Production Studio, owned by Ian Allen. I am also an audio engineer. I would have studied audio engineering in New York. So I wear many hats, Pearson. As I said, I have always been about music and all things music and sound. And crochet was just something to do when not much going on.
No, I'm so curious, because I know how those musicians are. They can be pretty rough. The fellas can be rough when they're talking.
Well,
what
no.
did they say? You're Ian's studio. Does Ian know that you crochet?
Yes, and he shares my work a lot too.
All right.
He knows, and no, I never got any kind of negativity from the entertainment community. Actually, I would have made quite a few, because as you know, there are a lot of entertainers with locks, with dreadlocks, and they would have benefited from my work through the years, even including Mr. Dale. I would have did some productions for Mr. Dale. Mr. Dale has had pieces of mine.
Okay.
So yeah, I never had any negative comments from the entertainment fraternity.
All right, Sean, we are so very proud of you. I mean, you're bold. You're bold, and I'm glad that you're able to join with us today to be able to share that you know, it doesn't matter. If you can do it, do it. And because you can do it so well, you've been able to do it so very well, Sean Lane, as a crochet designer, crafter. I thank you for coming through, and I really wish you every success in your pattern development and your sale of your patterns, but also in your creation of your outfits for the ladies in crochet. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. What an interesting young man, eh? Sean Lane, Bajan crochet designer and crafter. All right, we're going to take a break right here. When we come back, 5:28:11.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
18 and a half minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. I cannot ever let you miss this opportunity to gain some good bargains tomorrow. So I'll remind you one more time here to check out Runner's Flea Market on tomorrow. If you're looking for those great bargains, Kensington Mall is the place to be tomorrow, Saturday. It's Runner's Grand Outdoor Flea Market from 8 in the morning right through till 5:30 in the evening. Items on sale will include bags and shoes and clothing and, plants and a whole lot more, really a whole lot more. If you need some stall space, you can call right now, 850-8661. 850-8661. Call it now and really register your stall space. Remember, all COVID-19 protocols will be enforced, but it's Runner's Flea Market tomorrow, Saturday, from 8 in the morning till 5:30 right there at Kensington Mall. Kensington Mall, just across the road from Kensington Oval. Right there in the corner, and you are good to go. So good luck in the outdoor Grand Flea Market tomorrow. You'll get some great bargains, so well done. Enjoy. All right, 5, 20, 11, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. You know that one. So it's not the same thing. Mahalia from the band 2 Mile Hill will join us now. Mahalia, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Look at you. So good to see you again.
It's good to see you also. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
You're welcome, Mahalia, girl. You know your band is my band. You know how much I support the music of 2 Mile Hill, formerly Nexus, but still great music, still great work coming out of you guys, and I really want to commend you on that. But you're celebrating today 5/28/11. Now I'll tell you, Mahalia, when I saw that, I'm thinking, what are they talking about? What is 5/28/11? What is? And then it dawned on me. Pearson, break it down. 5th month, 28th day, 11th year, 2011. Congratulations on the anniversary.
Thank you so much. I can't believe that so much time has passed already. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it is.
feel like that much time has passed.
Yeah, I remember when Gossip Girl came out, and everybody, it was the rave all over the world. And I thought, yes, that's our band right there. What did that song do for you guys, Next Six?
It for sure it brought a lot of people's attention to us. But what it also did was it showed us that people were willing and hungry to hear music out of Barbados, like original music from Barbadian artists, and it didn't need to be soca. So it kind of opened a whole new avenue for artists here to realize, oh, we could do different type of music. I know we all love soca music,
Yes, yes.
but I think it showed other people that, if soca is not my thing, we could still do it.
But what I also found interesting was that we knew you as a raptress, but then Mahalia could sing. She could sing. And it also gave you an opportunity to show all of us the range of your performance as well. Well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So where has Nexus taken you guys? I know you've traveled extensively.
Yeah, we've been across the region. We've been across America touring, and we've also been to Europe. We went as far as France. So we actually have been fortunate to be able to travel quite a few places and represent Barbados.
You're such global citizens already, and I love the fact that you guys came together while at university. So tell me a little bit about the forming of the group.
We were at school at Cave Hill doing anything but music. There wasn't even a music program yet at UE. I did computer science actually, and the guys did a bunch of other things, and we decided one day to perform at a poetry event that they were having in the guild at school. So Chris and RJ asked me if I wanted to sing with them, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. All right, no problem. And we got together for that gig, and it just went so well, and the energy and the vibe was there, the connection was there. We were already friends,
Yes.
And after that, the rest is history. We just wanted to pursue music, So we decided to do it for a little bit and see how it felt, and after that there was no turning back.
And now it's 10 years, Mahalia, 10 years you guys have been together crafting and creating great music that is not just soca, because you guys, I mean, I'll tell you, Let It Go is one of my absolute favorites. Every time I play Let It Go, I just go wild in the studio as well to play to the performance of Let It Go. But then there's so many other great songs over the years that you've put together, and there's so many wonderful people who've passed through as well. There we see some of the originals of the band Next Six. Right there you are. I see Dre, Mr. Blackman Chant now, and you know, all the others is Chris, as always, touring over everybody else. You know, Next Six. And you made a transition with a name change, but the great music continues nevertheless.
Yeah, man. We definitely had to change the name, especially to represent Barbados a little more. So wherever we go, whatever we do, when people ask us, okay, so why you're called Two Mile Hill, we can say, well, it's a place in Barbados. Our Prime Minister's residence is there. And we can talk about home, you know. So it was always a good idea for us to change from Next Six to 2 Mile Hill. I know there are a lot of Next Six stands up there, like people out there that are like Next Six forever, but it was definitely a good idea to change the name.
You know, I'll tell you, at first I thought, why would they change this name? I'd gotten so accustomed to its unusual spelling, and now you're going to change this whole thing. But I found that it has been easy to transition, you know, and just knowing that the truth of who you guys are remains consistent. So 2 Mile Hill is what it is now, but tonight, you're celebrating the 10th anniversary, and you want all of us to join you in that celebration. How are you going to celebrate?
Oh gosh, we're going to show everybody our very first concert, because that's what 5/28/11 was. It was the name of our very first concert that we put together ourselves, that we produced ourselves. We did it in the shipping at the time, so we know how long that was, 10 years. And even though we would have shared pieces of the concert, now 10 years later we want to show everybody the whole experience, and it's gonna just be like stepping in a time machine, because even though we're the same people, we're very different people now. We're very different musicians now, so it's just gonna be a moment to share with people who maybe only joined the party at 2 Mile Hill, you know, who weren't around for Next Six, or who just can't remember what it was like, or who remember what it was like and just would love to just, like, you know, throw it back with us. So it's just to come together and have a moment with our fans and our friends again, just to celebrate the growth that we experienced between then and now.
Fantastic.
So we're gonna broadcast it on our social media. So at 8 p.m. guys, on Facebook Live and on Instagram Live. So as long as you're following us on social media, you will be able to see what's going on. But just join us on our lives on Facebook and Instagram at 8 p.m. and you are going to be able to experience what we would call it the sensory experience of 5/28/11.
I am going to be right up front. Trust me, look for me. I'm going to be right up front. It is... Somebody,
I'm sorry to cut you off there. Now you say you're going to be right up front, like if we're going to be physically there in the space together. And it just reminded me, somebody messaged me and was like, so Drake's going to be free? And I was like, all night. Drake's going to be free all night.
That's right. Drink as much as you want. You know, but it just goes to show you that you have the band has such support across this island, because we are immensely proud of the band 2 Mile Hill now, Nexus then, and it's Nexus 10th anniversary, the band's 10th anniversary that we're celebrating tonight on Facebook and Instagram Live, where we once again reconnect and throw back to 5/28/11 and to get to enjoy its beginnings right through till now. And you know, Mahila, I really want to encourage everyone to be a part of it tonight. And as usual, you know, you're my girl. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you every success going forward, you and the band, as you engage with us in great music, Mahalia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pearson. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to seeing you tonight.
Look for me, girl, up front. Thanks, Mahalia. All right, so everybody, that's where we'll be on Facebook Live or Instagram Live from 8 o'clock this evening for 5/28/11 with the band Next Six. It's going to be awesome. A break and we're back with more. On this Fresh Friday, we'll introduce you to a fresh face with us right here now. Good morning to you, Chantal Best. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. I've always wanted to talk to you. I've followed you on social media, so I know the things that you do, madam. So it's so good to have you on this morning. Talk to me a little bit about the inspiration behind this new track which you've released.
Okay, so this song was written 13 years ago when my first marriage ended because my ex-husband didn't like the way I looked. And as you can imagine, I was broken, I was devastated, I was hurt, I was crushed. And when I couldn't cry anymore, when I didn't have, when I couldn't express myself the way that I wanted to anymore, I put the way I felt in writing and I turned it into a song. But then it wasn't until 2019 that I will bridge to that song because I didn't want to leave the audience wondering where to find this man called Jesus.
Wow. So it took some time for its completion and now it's released, this project of yours. And it's because of the place of hurt and pain and a sense of rejection, I'm sure, by that man who you loved and who you thought loved you back for who you are. And now here it is, you're feeling a lot more confident about who you are because you found love again.
Amen. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Not only in my relationship with God, but then the Lord gave me a man that is one of the sweetest men to ever walk the face of this earth, who loves me beyond, all doubt, all flaws, and he doesn't see it. He sees beyond it.
Amen. And I also love the way your children interact with you as well. I see the love they pour back to mommy. And that's what when I see you on social media, I do not see anything else but an awesome person. And I want for people to be able to see you. You're welcome to see you simply as that. Because oftentimes we sit by the sideline and we want to be judgmental without taking the time to understand an individual. And when we get to understand, then we recognize that predisposed position that we had before was totally unfounded. And I'm glad that you're able, through this production, to be able to slap us in the face, basically, to say, listen, I'm a whole lot more. I found him, and I'm living my best self as well. Tell us a little bit about the production. We see Joel Brooks there with you.
Yes, please. Well, when I first contacted Joel, all I knew was that I had this song that God told me it was time to release the song. And I can say that Joel worked with me on a level that I was not even expecting in producing this song. He took the song and took it places that I didn't even know that I could go vocally, and so I am very pleased with the job that he did. I think that he was an excellent choice for this song. He put in a lot of work. Let me tell you, he did a lot of work because I was self-conscious about some things regarding, to the way I look and angles and that kind of thing. And we spent all day especially with his video shoot. We spent all day. I mean, he was just, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. This song would not be what it is without him.
Right.
That's just it.
Until that song, you could have written a song and let someone else sing it. You chose to sing it. Why?
Yes, please. I love to sing, Kirsten. I love to sing, and this actually is me taking a leap of faith because for many years I never thought that I would make it this far as a singer because, you know, the facial deformity, the speech impediment, and, you know, growing up and looking at BET and Hollywood, there's a certain look, a certain image that is portrayed out there that when I look at myself, in my opinion and in the public's opinion, I didn't have it. But then as I begin to learn my identity in God and you know, discover what true beauty really was, I decided that I was not going to be held back anymore, and that there has to be an audience out there that would receive me. And so I just didn't want anybody else to sing the song because I think that I am a complete package vocally. You know, lyrically, I think that I am a complete package and that I am good enough, you know, to put out there just as good as anybody else.
Amen to that one, Chantel. I love it. And you know, actually, earlier this week, we would have had an interaction with Dr. Marlon Husbands. He said it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. You can still finish strong.
Correct.
And there you are finishing, not necessarily finishing, but you're being strong and as this part of the journey continues for you. So where can we find this song and how can people really get your ministry?
Okay. All right. So we can find the song. You can find the song on YouTube. It's also on iTunes. It's also on, there's another one that's not coming to me. It's on iTunes. It's on, I'm trying to get accustomed to
But
all
we can find you and you can help us.
Yes, please. I am also on Facebook. In fact, I am most active on Facebook.
Yes.
So any person that is interested in the song can feel free to send me a private message on Facebook and I can direct them accordingly. But I know for sure it's on iTunes and it is available on YouTube, Spotify. I think it's on there as well. There's quite a TuneCore. It's on there as well.
It's called I Found Him. I Found Him by Chantel. Just look at her name, Shauntle. Her last name is Best. And she is just one awesome person. Chantel, thank you so much for joining us this Fresh Friday. Every success going forward. May the Lord bless you always.
And thank you so much, Kirsten, for having me, and likewise to you and yours.
Thank you so much. What a way to end today. Remember, you can end strong, everybody, as Chantel has proven to you. That's it for the week. We thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on Monday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.